Hello everyone and welcome to Successful Email Marketing. Here's a look at our agenda for today. First, I'll define what email marketing is and give a brief history on how it's changed over time. Then I'll talk about why email marketing is essential to your business and some proper email etiquette. We'll then go over creating an email marketing strategy and incorporating that into the growing number of mobile users. And finally, I'll finish up with some best practices and resources. First, let's talk about email marketing and how we got where we are today. You all know what email is, I hope, but just so you're aware, the textbook definition is messages distributed by electronic means from one computer user to one or more recipients via a network. The key here is really that it's electronic as opposed to traditional postal mail. That's really all that's different between the two. The process itself is still pretty much the same that it's always been, it just looks a little different. First, you write your letter. Instead of using a pen to write a letter on paper, you're using your keyboard to type an email message in an email program on your computer. When the email is finished and has been addressed to the recipient's email address, you used to put a stamp on it. Today, we simply press the send button in our email program. This makes the email message go on its journey. Like postal services transport letters and parcel, email servers transmit email messages from sender to recipient. Usually emails are not delivered to the recipient directly though, but waiting at the nearest mail server to be picked up by them. If you've got new mail in your mailbox, you go and fetch it. Similarly, your email program can check for new email messages at your mail server and download them for you to read. Again, the process really hasn't changed. Email does, however, have some significant benefits over traditional mailings. For one, it's convenient. If a desktop computer, laptop, or mobile phone is around, you can type your email message wherever you want, save it for later use, and send it at any time without having to worry about envelopes, stamps, and tariffs. It's faster. Emails typically arrive within seconds or minutes, anywhere in the world, something that can be said only about a negligible number of letters that I've sent via postal mail. You can send more for the same price. You can attach any file on your computer to an email message easily, regardless of its type and mostly size. It's as easy to send a long master's thesis around the world as it is to email a spreadsheet, a report, pictures, or a saved file of your favorite game. It's accessible. Emails can be stored conveniently in your email program. Good programs make it easy to organize, archive, and search your emails, so any information contained in an email is already readily accessible. And finally, it's much cheaper. Aside from the fee you pay for accessing the internet, sending and receiving emails is typically free. Taking advantage of today's email service can really help you promote yourself and your business. Let's talk about some of the benefits of email marketing. Email marketing can be done at a very low overhead cost. You don't need a ton of employees, designers, or marketing analysts. You don't need to pay for printing, postal mailing costs, phone lines, or advertising rates. In fact, there are services, like iBoomerang, that allow you to host your email marketing using professionally designed templates that you can then just alter to your own needs. An effective email marketing program only needs a great email marketing platform or service and a good marketer who knows how to put the right offers and the right copy and graphics in front of the right portion of your user or customer list. There is no marketing channel in which you'll spend less to get greater returns on your investment than email marketing. You can reach people across the globe with the same information and for the same price. Some people argue that social media can do the same thing, and while that's true, typically tracking who's reading and interacting with your emails is easier than doing so with social media. Once you get the hang of doing it, creating email is really easy. It's simple to throw in graphics or videos. Some email services will also help and allow you to create email templates that can be used time and time again. There may be no better marketing channel from which to draw precise and usable tracking information to help you figure out what's successful and what's not than email marketing. Well-developed email marketing platforms can provide tracking information on how many people opened an email, how many people clicked a link in an email, which specific link within the email was clicked, how many people complained that the email was spam or unsubscribed, and of course whether your email even made it to your recipient's inbox. Email marketing also tells you what types of content, products, or services customers want. If a retailer sends an email to its female subscribers about a new dress and shoe line and finds that the link to the shoes received no clicks, but the links to the dresses received all the clicks, it's fair to say the customers are interested in dresses. This can not only help the local retailer with its email marketing efforts by suggesting to the business to only send its female subscribers information on dresses, but it may also help the retailer make purchasing decisions next season when it is stocking its store with new clothes. When was the last time that you saw a customer hand over a postal mailing that they'd received to a friend who might be interested? Or have you seen somebody clip an ad from a magazine and send it to a family member who may want that product or service? However, forwarding an email with an enticing or useful offer or piece of information only takes seconds, and many users will do it. That means that your marketing effort has not only a wider reach, but also a networked reach with people who, by forwarding the email, are now acting as your brand advocates. Because you can segment your database of customers or users with email, you can send extremely targeted marketing campaigns that will result in increased sales conversions simply because they are so specific. So for example, if you sell flowers, you can find everybody in your database who ever bought daffodils and then send them an email in April when the first daffodil shipments come in. You're then using your customer database to put the most relevant message in front of the customers who are most likely to respond to it, and that's what good marketing is all about. Because print mail campaigns, telesales campaigns, and even print television and radio advertising campaigns must be done in a mostly one-size-fits-all format, it's difficult for you to speak directly to your consumer in a personalized way. However, email marketing presents many dynamic opportunities. Not only can you send personalized email with your user's name or login name, but many email marketing solutions offer the ability to feed in personalized information such as sales or purchase history. With a print mailer or telesales campaign, you'll need to select marketing campaigns and specials that are long tail because of the extended period of time between campaign development and implementation. Because a marketing email can be completed in just a few hours, you can literally send day of messages to help reduce stock or promote a limited time special as needed. You can even send unique real-time messages to customers that arrive on their birthdays or anniversaries. With email marketing, short time frames are your friend, not your enemy. Good marketing always means being able to test things. With email marketing, it becomes incredibly easy to see which graphics, headlines, offers, and even colors your users and customers will respond to. It's incredibly simple to simply send one version of an email to one part of your list and a second version of an email to a different part of your email list. Then, through the very precise tracking tools that email marketing offers, you can figure out which marketing message worked better to convert sales or user actions. And finally, email marketing offers one of the highest return on investment figures of all marketing channels, an average of 4,300%, not to mention it also saves a few trees. Emily Post's first edition of Etiquette was released in 1922. Things have changed since the days of attending formal dinners and writing thank you notes, but that doesn't mean etiquette in the modern day has or should go by the wayside, especially with your email marketing. Resonate with your audience by following these email marketing etiquette do's and don'ts that even Emily Post would approve of. Let's think of these email marketing do's as a formal dinner setting at your restaurant. How should you treat your customer? An opt-in or subscription occurs when a person submits his or her email to a company, website, or individual, thereby giving them permission to send them email communications. While not truly part of an email message, or the dinner in this case, setting yourself up for success in your newly established relationship requires careful consideration of both new subscribers and inactive or dormant subscribers. The opt-in process is important because it affects multiple parts of your email marketing campaign. First, deliverability. If you begin to send to email addresses that do not wish to receive your email communications, your deliverability rating will likely decrease as a result of increased complaints. Second, return on investment. By removing those who do not wish to receive your messages, your time and money are better spent engaging with those who do wish to receive your messages. You should also reap more rewards from cleaner data as a result of including only interested individuals in your data set. And reputation. Also related to complaints, the more messages your subscribers mark with spam or submit complaints about, the greater the chance of ruining your credibility, not only with the public but also with email readers like AOL, Yahoo, and Google. By segmenting your email list, you make it so you can personalize your customers' experience by location, industry, previous purchasing history, and more. This will add to the effectiveness of your campaigns by allowing you to send emails that truly pertain to your recipients' needs and interests. You should also use dynamic text to insert your customers' names and other information. The sender name or from line is the outward-facing name subscribers will see and can be considered the mask for the reply to email address. Make sure your customers remember you and what you do. Always make the sender name something relevant and specific. From lines such as info, news, admin, sales, etc. will likely depress conversion rates and miss out on the opportunity to build a more human relationship with your subscribers. Avoid generic names at all costs and consider adding your business name in there as well. In a formal table setting, the service plate serves as decoration and frames the meal. This is how your subject line operates. It grabs the attention of the reader and prepares them for the content within the email. It's your first impression, your hook, your very own mini billboard. Make sure your subject line is compelling, personal, professional, concise, and descriptive. It should be broad enough to capture the interest of the reader, yet specific enough that your reader isn't disappointed in your email's content. You should also limit your characters to 50, use proper capitalization and punctuation, and avoid spammy keywords. Before you even start composing your email, you want to keep in mind that your message should be clear and concise, just like the water on the table. Having a plan will make writing the email easier and will result in a better final product. Another email marketing etiquette rule is to use short paragraphs. Your emails should not be lengthy. If you have more to say, write a blog about it and include a short summary in an email invitation to read the blog. Think of this as your glass of wine. Everything is good in moderation. Now that we've covered the setup, let's dig in. By now you should have made a good impression. Your customer wants more, so we start with bread. This is what we call the pre-header of your email. It's the first impression your customer has of the dinner. This should be a short 2-sentence summary of what the email is about. And here are a few examples of some pre-headers. Typically, the pre-headers include things like offers or coupons, free shipping information, a link to an online or mobile version of the email, and/or a note for the reader to add the email address to a safe list. Think of this as the knife adding butter or jam to the bread. Moving from the pre-header, the header or the soup spoon is the first part or course of your email's content. It's the part of your email template that does not change from email to email and generally only changes across email message types or campaigns. Here are a couple of examples. You can see most headers include your business's logo and maybe some navigation links or social media icons. You could also include a phone number to make it easy for mobile users to contact you. The next course is the most colorful portion of our dinner, the salad or images. Pretty graphics grab the attention of your reader and help break up the text part of your email. That being said, one of the most common mistakes in email template design is using too many images. If your customer eats too much salad, they won't be able to enjoy the main course. So limit your graphics to a few that aren't too big. A good rule of thumb is to limit image use to 30% of your email's content. You also want to remember to add alt text to your images for people that won't have their images load right away. Now we're at the main course of the dinner or the content of your email. This is what your customer has been waiting for, so you need to make sure you meet their expectations. Your content needs to be relevant and useful to the user. This is why it's important to segment your customer list so you can target groups of people with correct information. Relevant content will also build trust between you and the client, turning them into brand advocates. Of course, you can't eat if you don't have the proper tools. Likewise, your content is really pointless if you don't include the tools to get your clients to read and interact with it. Your content tools are highlighted relevant details, bullet points, and links. As I just mentioned, your content needs to be relevant to the user. Highlight the most important details so that if they are skimming over the email, they'll get exactly what they need to know. For example, if you're sending them a reminder about an appointment, make the date and time larger and more prominent than the rest of the text. A good way to do this is to use bullet points. Email service providers also like bullet point lists, which will help prevent your email from being sent into spam folders. And finally, include links to your website, blog, social sites, and anything else. These keep your client engaged and should give them additional information that they need. Now we're at my favorite part of the meal, the dessert. In your email, this is the footer section. The footer is critical for compliance reasons and for user experience reasons. A footer should always include the items required in CAN-SPAM, a valid postal address, a full name, and an unsubscribe link with instructions on how to opt out of your email list. You should also include a contact email address and legal jargon like links to terms of service and privacy policies and any other disclaimers. The final part of our formal dinner is coffee. Just as people contemplate the world over a cup of joe, you need to take the time to evaluate your email. Nothing stains your reputation faster than an email full of misspellings and grammatical errors. Your customers have high standards, so don't let them down. Use spell check and proofread your email more than once. Remember, spell check won't catch every error, so read carefully to make sure you haven't mixed up words like compliment and complement. At its core, etiquette is all about being polite. The same rules apply when you're emailing. Be courteous and respectful of your customers and their time. Make sure you're putting your most polite foot forward and you'll succeed. And finally, if you get a reply, be sure to respond. Remember from the beginning of this presentation that email is about faster communication. Answer questions as soon as possible so that your lead doesn't go cold. And here's just a list of surefire ways to get your clients to unsubscribe or simply delete your emails without reading them. Again, make sure you proof your emails with proper grammar, tone, and correct lengths. Avoid writing in all caps and using too many symbols or exclamation points. Double check that your contact's information is entered into your system properly to avoid using incorrect names or titles. Think about your design and stay away from colors, fonts, and images that are distracting or unappealing. Don't write too much or email too frequently, and don't just send an email to send one. Make sure your content is useful to the customer. Now let's talk about putting together an email marketing strategy. Here, once again, is our digital marketing strategy that we will now apply to email marketing. Our first step is to define your goals. What is it that you want to accomplish with your email marketing campaigns? You want to keep it both measurable and specific, so avoid just saying to increase sales. Instead, make your goal 100 sales in 100 days, or a 5% click-through rate to my blog, or 100 new Facebook fans, if you're sending an email campaign centered around boosting your social media. Then you want to develop your email marketing channel. There isn't much to do in terms of setting up an email marketing. You really only need an email address. However, now is the time to build your email basics, or the elements that will appear in all of your messages. These include your sender name, email signature, and the graphics that will stay the same. Email marketing is different from your other digital marketing channels because you actually want to build your audience before you start creating your content. So you'll see that steps 3 and 4 are out of order for this presentation. When building your audience, you want to compile one main email list, and you want to do this in the right way. You should never, ever, ever purchase a list of emails. First of all, how do you know that they're legit? And secondly, sending to these lists is a quick way to find yourself in the spam folder. You can build your list quickly through other proven methods, including advertising, asking affiliates to share your name and content, asking clients and potential customers to subscribe, and connecting with people by guest blogging. After you have a full general list, you want to work on segmenting or breaking down your list into smaller groups. Some groups to consider are age groups, gender, income, how they subscribed, for example, by blog, social media sites, or another way, the type of product they've purchased, and maybe where they're at in the sales funnel. Obviously, some of these people will be in multiple categories, and that's okay because the next step is to create your content, and your content will be built around the list you plan to send to. So decide what kind of campaign you want to run. Then you want to choose which of your segmented customer lists are appropriate to send to. Next, write your content, proof your message, and then send it. This process sounds simple, but I promise you it will take some careful planning if you want it to be effective. And finally, analyze your results. Be sure to remove any emails that request an opt-out from your list. You must be vigilant in processing opt-out requests in order to keep your customers and the spam police happy. Remember, just because customers don't want to receive emails from you now doesn't mean they won't change their mind someday. So honor your customers' wishes as quickly as possible after you send a message. Another thing that you'll probably see are messages returned to your inbox as undeliverable due to invalid email addresses or full inboxes. These messages are called bounces or bounce backs. Take these off of your list and then try to reach out to those customers to see what happened. It could be that their email inbox is full or that they're not using that address any longer. Then you want to look at the actual statistics. Monitoring email click-through rate is a cornerstone of email marketing analytics because the click-through rate indicates whether the message was relevant and the offer compelling enough to encourage recipients to action. Sharing rates are another indicator of the value and relevance of your email messages. Email offers that get shared or forwarded outside of your own house list can end up being your best performing campaigns because you've drastically increased the reach of that message by tapping into the viral nature of your subscribers' social networks. Conversion rate is the ultimate measure of an email campaign's effectiveness. The conversion rate is the percentage of recipients who clicked on a link within an email and completed a desired action, such as filling out a lead generation form or purchasing a product. The higher your conversion rate, the more relevant and compelling the offer was for your audience. You should also note the open rate of your emails. While somewhat important, this isn't the most important statistic because it can be unreliable. Still, it's good to know how many people were engaged by your subject line enough to open the email so that you can tailor it to encourage even more interaction. You'll also want to follow up with the clients that didn't open your email by either sending it again or picking up the phone if it's an important message. After you've analyzed your results, follow your strategy circle back around and work on your next campaign, refining both your audience and message as you go. Now let's talk about how email marketing plays into the sales funnel. The awareness level is achieved through repeat visibility and engagement. The idea here is two-part. First, make sure people know that they can subscribe to your emails. Always include opt-in forms on your website, blogs, and ask people on social media to subscribe. You could offer people an incentive for signing up, like those restaurant.com gift cards. Secondly, you want to get together that main email list and start branding your business. Here are a couple of examples of email opt-in requests. The one on the left is typically found on a blog or website, and the one on the right is something you can do if you have a Facebook business page. You can create what's called an app that includes a form that people can sign up for your emails. The interest level is where your customer list segmentation and personalized content come into play. Just like with social media, make sure your content is relevant and useful to the reader. At this level, you're fostering trust by creating relationships with your followers. Give readers a reason to follow you by continually offering valuable content. Valuable content is what will move your followers to the desire or conversion part of the funnel. This is a critical moment. This is where you want to promote how you can help them solve their problem by offering something such as a free consultation for one of your products or your restaurant.com gift cards if you're running a referral campaign. Here are some examples. In the top left and bottom right are examples for a free online consultation. The top right is an example for referrals, and the bottom left is an example for someone to sign up for emails, but you could do something similar to get people to follow you on social media. The rest of the funnel is exactly like social media. The reader moves further down the funnel into the action category. This is where you do what you do best. You sell. Schedule that web conference and show them how you can help their situation. Turn this lead into a customer. Lastly, analyze your results. Did you make the sale? Why or why not? If you didn't, does the person continue to read your emails or have they unsubscribed? If they just weren't ready to buy, make a note and remind them in 6 months that you're still there to help them. Building a personal relationship helps turn the client into an advocate for your brand. Now that you know the benefits and how to use email marketing for your business, let's go over some best practices. First, make sure subscribers have twice confirmed their intent to receive your newsletter or to otherwise be added to your email list, usually first on your website where they sign up, and second by clicking on a confirmation link in an email that you send to them. Next, think about the appearance before the customer even opens the email. The sender information should include your name and your company, and your subject line should be engaging and about the content inside the email. Your email should be properly formatted and interesting to the reader. You should have a pre-header, which gives a brief summary of the email as well as options to view in a browser or on a mobile device. Your header should display your logo and any website links. Your content area should have a compelling headline, eye-catching graphics, and no more than a couple of paragraphs of text. Your call to action, or what you want the user to do, should be prominent and clear. Any buttons should be clickable and thumb-sized for mobile users. Finally, include your contact information and any other legal jargon in the footer section. It's a good idea to do what's called the 5-second test. Send the email to a coworker, friend, or relative and ask them to look at it for 5 seconds. Then ask them what they remember from it or what captured their attention. You also want to make sure you're optimizing your emails for mobile devices. If you're like me, you use your smartphone for just about everything, including email, and you wouldn't be alone. Over 2/3 of all emails are opened on mobile devices today. In fact, more people open their email via just the iPhone, 38%, than a desktop computer, 34%. This is why it's important to design your emails with mobile users in mind. Here's an example of good design. Make sure you don't have too much text at the top. You use contrasting colors, and your call to action isn't lost in the design. Instead, use a short subject line, large text, make your main message prominent, stick to a single column design, and put any buttons front and center so it's easy for the reader to click on them. Personalize the email to increase engagement. When a reader notices their own name, they're more likely to read the rest of the email. Avoiding spammy content can be really time-consuming. For one thing, email service providers are always updating what is considered spam. Some key things to avoid are using all capital letters, numerous exclamation points, special characters like $signs, and certain keywords. I'll have some additional resources at the end that you can read over. You should always be testing and retesting your emails to see not only that they make it through spam filters, but also which content is more engaging to your readers. This will help you craft better emails in the future. If there are people in your email database who have not responded to your emails for a while, it might be worth asking them whether they're still interested in receiving your emails from you. If they're not interested, instead of unsubscribing, they could well click the spam button, and that's something you'd obviously like to avoid. And finally, cross-promote all of your marketing channels. Email is central to this method. Send emails when you write a new blog, or better yet, include a link to your latest blog post in your newsletter. Invite people to join you on your social networks. Ask them to opt into your text messages. Ask them to leave reviews on certain review sites. You could even send out digital versions of any print mailers that you're sending out. That's my information for today. I'm also going to give you some good email marketing resources that you can read over. The first 2 resources should help you fight against spam folders. One is general guidelines and the other contains a bunch of flagged keywords. For USABG agents, you're kind of at a disadvantage. The word insurance alone is a triggered keyword. This doesn't mean if your subject line includes insurance it will be marked as spam. It just means you have to work harder at the other aspects of the email to make sure that they pass the test. The next 2 resources come from HubSpot and are general tips on mastering email marketing and cross-promoting your campaigns. And finally, there are 2 great resources for best practices. So to review, here are the key points you should take away from today's training. You should understand that electronic mail has the same process as traditional mail, it's just in a different arena. Email marketing saves you time and money and it often has a higher return on investment than other marketing channels. You should know the proper etiquette rules to follow, including segmenting your customer lists and creating valuable content for your readers. And you should know that email marketing is the best way to cross-promote your efforts. And just a review of everything we talked about today, you should know how to define email and how it works. You should understand the benefits email marketing has for your business. You should know the proper email market etiquette rules to follow and what to avoid. You should be able to develop an email marketing strategy and understand how it plays into the sales funnel. And you should have a good list of best practices and resources for the future. If you have any questions for me, just leave them in the comment section below. Thanks!